For the last 5.5 years, we've been giving our hottest takes here on the Nerdiest podcast. And you know what? We're kind of tired, so we think it's your turn. That's why today on the Nerdiest podcast, we're going to be roasting your worst movie hot takes. It's going to be so much fun, you will not want to miss it. Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Jackson Glass, and today, as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Nick, the host with the most, who's always sleep-deprived, Nick Barrett. Now, today, as you heard from the intro, and if you follow us on social media, then you may have had a bit of participation in this episode, because today, we will be roasting your worst movie takes. Some of them we think are pretty based. We're like, sick, that was a good choice. Finally someone said it. And some of these, we're about to roast the fire out of you for believing some of these things. Now, this is all in jest. We mean to be funny. This is all just fun. But also,
you might be a little stupid.
Some of you guys are a little dumb. We're just kidding. I'm joking. We're here to have fun.
It's just a prank, bro.
We're also going to let you know if we agree, disagree. Feel free to play along at home if you disagree or not. But I just wanted to let you know if you want to participate in episodes in the future, you need to follow us on YouTube at The Nerdiest Podcast, on Instagram at The Nerdiest Podcast, on Twitter at Nerdiest Pod, and follow us personally with all the links in the description down below. But first of all, Mr. Nick, how are you? I know this is kind of hard because we're technically pre-recording, so, you know, our last episode was only a week ago, but if anything exciting happening going on? Yeah, no, relatable.
I've just been playing a lot of Donkey Kong. So actually, here's what I'll say. I went down a rabbit hole this week researching Pokemon games because I'm looking into getting another Pokemon game. One of my coworkers was trying to convince me to get Pokemon Violet, and then we had a Pokemon Presents this week, and they showed the new game, and I was like, okay, that looks kind of sick. Maybe I'll get the last Legends game. This may be the first Pokemon game where they get me to buy it based on the drip of the main character alone. Goes kind of hard, but also the game is set in the Pokemon equivalent of France. So like I've said on a prior episode, do I really want to put that gunk on my Switch? I don't know. Anyway,
we'll see.
So I was talking to my girlfriend about the Pokemon Presents because she's really into Pokemon, and I was talking to her about the Pokemon games that are on Switch, and I was like, have you played any of them? And she was like, no, but I've really wanted to try like Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. I've heard Legends Arceus is really good. Legends Arceus is the one I was kind of looking to get into because it's very like Breath of the Wild-esque. So I was like, okay, if I can get into it with something that's more my speed, something I'm more used to and accustomed to, then, you know, maybe it'll work out. So then I go back. I don't know if you've ever watched the Before You Buy series, where like this guy sits down and he's like, that. Before you buy, and talks about the game. Yeah. So before I give Pokemon 60 of my hard-earned dollars, I'm like, all right, let me see what we're getting into. So I started with Legends Arceus, looked pretty good, looked a little empty, graphics look good, run good, okay. Did Sword and Shield, looked significantly better, which I don't know how that happened because it was earlier in the Switch life cycle than Arceus, but anyway. So that looked good, and then I went to Scarlet and Violet. And that's where the problem started. Because I've seen and played a lot of games on Switch. That might be the ugliest game I've ever seen on the Nintendo Switch console.
Which one is it called?
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Don't look at their trailer because the Nintendo trailer oversells it. Just look up like gameplay. Raw gameplay. And tell me like that came out 6 months before Tears of the Kingdom. And you know how Tears of the Kingdom looks on Switch. So don't tell... So
no,
I'm looking at that gameplay.
That's like PS2 low poly type. Like...
Yeah, and like the frame drops worked awful. So I was looking at it and I was like, okay, they're not getting 60 of my dollars. No way.
Right. So did you settle on one?
So what I knew was they had a Switch 2 update for Pokemon... for Scarlet and Violet that is free. So I was like, okay, well, at the very least, if I get the game, like, let me look into what it looks like on Switch 2, because then maybe I could justify, like, finding a used copy somewhere and saving a little money.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find out that my sister has a physical copy of Sword and Violet. So I was like, sick. Not only do I get the free upgrade, but I can just borrow her copy of the game. And if I don't like it, no money off my back. So that's what I'm going to start when I finish Donkey Kong. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, we've gotten a Nintendo Direct and there's more to look forward to.
Right.
Hot speculation is next week, which will be last week when this episode comes out. So hopefully we get some.
We'll see if we predicted the future.
Fire stuff. You know what? For editing, Nick, let me drop some predictions here real quick. Metroid Prime 4 release date, Final Fantasy 7 release date, Animal Crossing. I'm in. I'm sold. Mario Kart World DLC would be pretty cool.
Perhaps.
Update on Hyrule Warriors would be pretty sick. New Switch 2 edition of a game. I'll say
Splatoon?
No, they gave Splatoon a free update. I'll say Metroid Prime Remastered. And they'll add mouse controls like Metroid Prime 4 has. That's my bid. I'd also love to see like Persona 3, Metaphor Refantasio, that kind of stuff. I don't think we're gonna get to see new Mario because Mario's 40th anniversary is in September. So I can't wait. Can't wait for us to get another Mario 3D All Stars. That's gonna be limited for 6 months, dude. It's gonna be great. And this time it's limited to Switch 2.
Dude, shout out to when they just did nothing for the Zelda anniversary, like years ago.
Next year's the 40th, so I'm really hopeful that they do something.
Was it the 35th anniversary when there was, and they did like
they said here's a Zelda Game & Watch, a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, and Skyward Sword,
which still isn't coming out for 4 years. Bye,
adios. And then they left.
It's like wait no, and then Mario got like the whole kit and caboodle, like the whole.
I did hear a rumor that there might be remastering Mario Galaxy 2 for Switch 2. Put that junk in 4K 60.
What would put a Switch 2. That's what would put a Switch 2 in my home. So that would be the trigger. Now, here's the other thing. If they really want to make money on the Switch 2, they need to let you port your Wii games to the Switch 2. Because if I could play Mario Kart Wii or like Wii Fit and like Wii Sports, like but with like enhanced graphics, you'd have my money. You would have every single dollar.
We might be too early in the gen for this, but Nintendo Switch Sports 2.
Bro, I don't even like. Here's what sucks about Switch Sports it was so much potential because the like motion controls was like way better than the Wii. And then they just fumbled the bag really hard on like the art style and the play style and how many games they included in the sports. Just not a fan. Yeah. So like I don't even need an update for Switch Sports. I need them to try again. Don't do that.
Don't just give us an update. I'm still shocked they never gave us baseball. Like that makes me irrationally angry that we never got baseball. Me very upset. Nah.
Which is like one of the base level games for Wii Sports. Like,
that was stupid. Don't laugh at that. That was so stupid. Don't.
Oh god.
No. Anyway, moving on.
Listen,
I'm gonna play Pokemon Violet when I'm done with Donkey Kong.
The only thing I have to report is, and this made me think of it, was last week was my brother's birthday, and he got a Nintendo Alarmo for his birthday, and I try not to be that guy when I'm at someone's birthday party. I was like, holy crap, I'm so jealous. I was like, I want that so bad.
Why?
And then my wife is sitting next to me being like, you do not need that. And I was like, no.
Hey,
no.
We could wake up. That I needed to get an alarm clock that wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Like
that's
my
not your phone. Yes. Is that what you want for Christmas? Is a Nintendo Alarmo?
I could wake up to the Guardian theme from Breath of the Wild and give myself a panic attack every morning. Because I
was talking to my brother about it. Here's what's crazy is I didn't even know this because it came out so long ago I forgot it existed. You put it at the same level of your bed. and it detects when you're moving.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a little weird. Which
It's a
is
little
it's not a camera.
alarming.
It's like a depth. It's like a depth sensor, same as like a stud finder. But if you don't
Why?
like get up, it gets more intense. So like he set it to like the Breath of the Wild setting, and it's like really chill, serene, like wake you up. But then he didn't get up, and it played the full Guardian theme, like sound effects and all. The like. It was like, no, please. And so anyway, update to follow. My wife said no, but I really want a Nintendo Alarmo.
I want to know how much it costs.
There was also a really interesting graphic I saw where it was like Nintendo has a pattern of doing like great console, flop console, great console, flop console.
I know where you're
And then
going
it
with
was
this.
like Nintendo and then or the Switch and the Switch 2, but then the Alarmo was in between them and it said, "Thank you, Alarmo, for taking the heat for Switch 2."
Dude, Alarmo was the sacrificial lamb. Alarmo was the sacrificial lamb to
Switch
see
2
Switch
could
2 success.
succeed.
Hey, and it's the highest selling console of
all time.
like fastest selling
Not of all
launch
time.
weekend. Not of all
yes.
time yet. Not yet.
That's so funny. Not
It
yet.
could be.
It could be soon.
It could be. I'm
Okay.
trying to find Alarmo on their website. There it is. Holy mo!
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's too expensive.
It's $100, bro. What the heck?
Well, okay, but also if you look at how many features it has, $100 is not out of the question.
All right, guys,
you know?
I need you guys to go buy some merch so we can afford this in the budget so that I
Hey,
can
guys, Nintendo Alarmo review.
test this out. I kind of...
Apparently, he said he put it on the Zelda setting, and at night the little screen, like Link was on like at a campfire, like at night, like on the little screen, and I just thought that was so dope.
really, really want to know how far I could go to justify to the IRS that this is a business expense.
This
Like-
is a tax write-off.
Yeah. What, like...
Oh gosh! Unless you have anything
Maybe I'll
else
find
to add.
a used one on Facebook Marketplace for like $20.
Unless you have anything else to add, I think we're ready to roast some hot takes.
Oh,
from
before we
our
roast,
fan base.
roast,
Oh yes.
I would like to shout out
I
specifically
get so ahead of myself.
the Nick with No K community. Not only did you guys pull up and give us some truly incredible, horrible takes, actually,
Yeah.
you guys also came through for me. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to thank each and every one of you because on the podcast account, I put up 2 polls, both
Yeah.
for future episodes. And I said, hey guys, I need you guys to vote in this poll. So the first one was Nick here. Should I force Jackson to watch K-pop Demon Hunters for the podcast? With 17% of the vote, we got nah. With 83% of the vote, yes.
Oh my gosh.
100%. So Jackson will in fact be watching K-pop Demon Hunters for the
Okay.
podcast.
The
Listen,
people have
it is the
spoken.
highest viewed movie on Netflix of all time.
No, which is of all time.
Of all
Shut
time.
up. No, it's not.
That's from Netflix's own Twitter account. I bookmarked this.
Dude. Okay, hold on. I want to shout out the original commenter. It's Artemunicado. I don't want to butcher the name, but Artemunicado commented on our Superman review on YouTube and said, "Jackson, please watch K-pop Demon Hunters," which led to this poll. So,
Yeah.
you know what?
He's a legend for that. So
Shout
thank
out to you guys.
Your YouTube comments do not go unread.
No, they
The
don't.
next
They're
one-
there.
This poll was already scheduled before I did the K-pop one, which is why there was accidentally 2 polls back to back.
Oops.
That's my bad. This
We don't
poll
remember what we schedule.
was which show would you want to see us cover on an upcoming episode? With 29% of the vote, Don to Don, which is
Don to Don.
tragic because Don to Don's great. With 71% of the vote, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which means
is crazy.
we will be watching Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 1 for the next episode of Jackson's Anime Adventure. Now, you might be thinking Avatar's not an anime. Listen, man, culturally, it is. I'm going to let it slide because we also haven't done an anime adventure yet this year. So
Right.
it's fine. Everyone considers Avatar an anime anyway. So I just wanted to shout out the incredible community, both of diehard podcast viewers, because I know you guys were there.
Yeah.
Also voting.
You guys knew.
But also my community, Nick with no K. You guys showed up. And I appreciate you for that. So that's that. Not only are we watching K-pop Demon Hunters, but we're also watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thank you for coming.
You guys are going to...
Stay tuned. Subscribe on YouTube to watch for more polls where we will be using our fan support, as I am the voice of the people, to force Jackson to do things he would not normally do.
I hope you guys know that you're eating well this season. And it's because we're in the kitchen.
New poll, should Jackson buy a Nintendo Alarmo? Then you can show it to your wife and say, the people have spoken.
The people have spoken. We need a Nintendo Alarmo. And it's so funny because there is a little thing on the back of the box that says, for beds with pets or multiple sleepers, set to regular alarm mode to remove motion sensor. And I was cackling because on the box, it references pets before a second person in the bed because they know their target audience.
Yeah.
You are way more likely, if you are a dude buying a Nintendo Alarmo, you are way more likely to have a pet than a girl in your bed.
Yeah.
That is all I'm going to say.
That's real.
If you have $100 for a Nintendo Alarmo.
Hear me out. We just split it 50-50 and we do split custody.
You get it 6 months, I get it 6 months.
Then we can experiment with it. It'll be great.
It'll be great. All right, guys.
Hit me with some hot takes. What do we got?
To start, we asked across all platforms for hot takes. And I would like to read the podcast Instagram story question sticker first. Just to reward those viewers for going straight to the source. First hot take, let me know if you agree or disagree. Are we giving names?
No, you know who you are.
I feel like you know who you are. I also, if some of these are like particularly a hot take, like I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to like name
I'm not
names.
here to dox you. I'm not here to dox you. Now, if I read a public comment, though, I will dox you because that's public and you knew that was public.
YouTube commenters and Twitter posters, you're not safe.
You're not safe. Okay. Attack of the Clones is not nearly as bad as people claim.
No, that's real.
Disagree.
I agree.
I think that Attack of the Clones is hard because the first half is really hard to get through, and then the second half is fire. So, like, once they start, fighting.
Fire?
Once they start fighting, that's when I'm invested. Agree? Attack of the Clones is underrated?
I'll let that one slide.
Okay. Moving on. I've never enjoyed a Nolan film. Agree, disagree.
Okay. Partial agree. Because I did enjoy the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to break your heart. Inception, not it. Inception, not it. I don't like.
That's hard.
Nah. So I'm like, partial agree. Like, I like the Dark Knight trilogy. Anything else? No.
I think that Nolan is one of those directors where you know what you're getting into. And when I was talking to Amy this morning about we're doing hot takes, she was like, my hot take is, she's like, I think Wes Anderson is mad overrated. And I was like, film bro's about to come for you. But I was also like, Christopher Nolan and Wes Anderson are those directors where it's like, you know exactly what you're getting. So if that's not for you, you're probably not going to like anything that they like, or you're going to very selectively like what you like. So like a Christopher Nolan movie, Interstellar, Inception, Oppenheimer, Dark Knight, like those movies, they're super long. They are huge cinematic, like giant landscapes. They're usually kind of mind bending. They're like action thriller, they usually have like an all-star cast that's giving their all. Like, it's gonna be 3 hours long. Like, they're these huge, like, sprawling movies, and if that's not your jam, then you're probably not gonna like most of his stuff.
Yeah.
So I would say partially agree, but I do enjoy a good Nolan film. Because I know, but I also understand, like, it's a Nolan film. Like, I know what I'm getting into. Moving on, and here's the thing. The same person said this as the Nolan film, so I think this is pretty based. A good 90-minute movie is better than a good 3-hour movie. It shows efficient storytelling and quality editing.
I'm gonna say agree, just because, like, personally, I don't think any movie should be 3 hours long. Like,
yeah,
I don't like, nah. With the exception of, like, well, not even with the exception of Endgame, because I think Endgame you could have paced that a little more efficiently, and you could have gotten it under 3 hours.
Right.
So
would you say, like, if you are given the option of a 3-hour movie or 2 90-minute movies a year apart, what are you going for?
2 90-minute movies a year apart.
I kind of agree, actually. I think it makes it so much more digestible. Yeah. And, like, I think that's true. It shows more efficient storytelling. And I think this is where a lot of people get lost on Nolan films because they're so big that they're really hard to digest, and you just kind of finish being like, I don't know how to feel because I don't remember what happened 3 hours ago.
Right.
I would say that's based. Also, efficient editing is one of the most underrated qualities in a movie, so that's a great take. Next, hot take, agree or disagree, Quentin Tarantino is overrated.
Agree. Hard agree.
I would agree.
Hard agree. I've never agreed with anything harder in my entire life.
I cannot really give a full answer to this movie. To this take. I've never sat down and watched a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Really?
Because I know what I'd be getting into, and I know I wouldn't like it.
It's a lot of feet.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of feet. I'm just saying, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did not need that many shots of Margot Robbie's feet. No, thank you. I'm so good.
All right. Next take. I think Thor: The Dark World wasn't that bad.
Dude, you know how long it's been since I've seen The Dark World? It's been like, I think I've only seen that movie once, and it was when it first came out.
I have only seen the second half in a random hotel in Arizona one time. Like, because they're like, stay away from Dark World. Like, they just, like, no one recommends that movie. So I've just kind of stayed away from it, and it's not really integral to the Marvel, like, rewatch. So I can't really give a great opinion.
Yeah, I can't either because I've only seen it once. I don't remember it being a particularly great movie, but it's been a hot minute since I've seen it, so I'll go neutral on that one. Okay. This one's kind of long, and the image is small, so I'm going to hold it up to my face. Willy's Wonderland is the best FNAF movie. It stars Nicolas Cage as a silent protagonist who takes a break every 15 minutes to drink an energy drink and play pinball. But if he's in the middle of combat, he is literally so powerful that he kills all the animatronics, cementing that the film, for me, as the best bad horror movie of all time, or the best anti-horror films I've ever seen. It's more hilarious than it is horrific due to how ridiculous it gets, and I love it. Don't go see FNAF, see this movie instead. No, I think I'm going to go see FNAF. Disagree. FNAF 2 trailer just dropped. It looks incredible, by the way.
It looks really good.
I will also say I have never seen or heard of that movie.
Oh, you've never heard of Willy's Wonderland?
No.
I have heard of it, but I just know that I wouldn't like it. I'm not a horror guy.
Me either. That's why I like FNAF, because it's like a horror, but for kids.
But, like, kind of dumb. You're like, this is stupid. But, like, I don't know. Even though, like, here's the thing. Like, people, I'll go watch movies with people, and they'll be like, oh, it's not scary at all. It's not scary at all. And then it starts, and I'm like, you freaking lied to me. I'm freaking terrified right now. Like, I cannot do it. And everyone's like, oh, what a baby. You can't do horror. And I'm like, here's my philosophy. Life is so stressful. Like, life throws so much at you just 24/7. When I sit down to watch a movie, I will never choose to be stressed.
Yeah.
That is not my choice. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Hold on. Let me move on. I'm moving into takes from my personal Instagram. Are you ready?
I am.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed one. I'll go back to it in a minute. Here's another one that says Thor: The Dark World is a good movie. We already covered that one.
Wow, we got 2. That's crazy.
2 Thors. Next one. A lot of the Jurassic Park sequels aren't as bad as people say.
As the resident Jurassic Park expert in the room, disagree.
According to my calculations.
Actually, yeah, no, those movies are awful. Like, we did a whole episode on it. I went back and listened to it, and I was like, dang,
man, we dogged.
I heard the new one was not great.
I heard it was like fun, but like nothing more than that.
No. I heard
Maybe
it was scary, but
I heard it was like 5 out of 10. Like, eh.
Yeah.
I think that, so this is a really interesting question because currently there are 7 Jurassic Park movies and only one of them is pretty much revered to be good.
I don't know. Like, I felt like Jurassic World, the first one, was like pretty decent.
I mean,
so like, I don't know. I'd count that as a win. So at the very least, they're 2 for 7.
I guess like 2 for 7, but I would say 2 for 7. But I think, and this is maybe my hot take for the day, I think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the best sequel to Jurassic Park. I do.
I disagree with that.
Well,
on
Jurassic
a multitude
World,
of levels.
Fallen Kingdom is what they wanted Jurassic World to be when they were like, oh, it's dinosaurs, but they're going out into the world. Like, oh, we're doing this thing where it's like, it's out in the world and it's not just contained to the park. It's like sick. And then they go into Dominion and they just do not explore that at all. But Fallen Kingdom really does explore that. And it's like kind of an espionage movie of them like breaking these dinosaurs out of this like rich person auction. Like the vibe is just really cool. And I also think it's so interesting because the whole ethical question of Jurassic World, Park, whatever, is like, should we have done this? It's like we were so busy thinking about if we could, we never stopped to think if we should.
Right.
And so I think at the very end, spoilers, when she lets the dinosaurs out into the real world, that is the embodiment of that question. It's like, should we have done this? Like, we just doomed the world, but now we have this responsibility for the dinosaurs. So I would say somewhat agree, but Jurassic Park and Fallen Kingdom are pretty much the only Jurassic sequels I will ever watch.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you want another one, or do you want to take a few from YouTube?
I'll take a couple from my Instagram because I put some on my personal Instagram too. Let's see. Ooh, this one's spicy, especially given how these polls just went.
Oh gosh.
Avatar the show isn't actually as good as everyone thinks, and like it based on nostalgia. I hard disagree with that. Avatar is like one of the rare. I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Like when all is said and done, there's few shows that I would give a 10 out of 10. And I think there is a nostalgia to it, but I also think I don't know, saying it's entirely based on nostalgia is
it's not entirely fair.
Is wrong. Because also like someone like me, yeah, Avatar came out as I was growing up, but I didn't watch it until I was in high school. So I don't really have that same nostalgia of like I watched it while it was airing and I was a kid, you know, on Nickelodeon. So I can look at it more objectively outside of that nostalgia and say, yeah, no, this is pretty solid. Like it's a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Like, it's a banger.
Right.
So
I can't really speak because I have not watched it, and that was part of the reason we wanted to do it for the show was because this was my first impression watching as an adult, and that's one of my like big sins, I guess, as like a cinephile. Is everyone's like, you've never seen Avatar? You never go, and I'm like, no, I didn't have cable.
Yeah, that's real. Let me hit you with another one.
Okay.
Ooh, this is anime, so this is my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Goblin Slayer is peak. Disagree. Disagree. Not even.
It
No.
sounds like not even close to peak.
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's good. Like, it's an enjoyable show. But to say it's peak. Slight side tangent. Can we stop calling everything peak?
Yeah.
Because if everything is peak, then nothing is.
Peak.
So, like.
Also, like, if this is hard. It's kind of like the 5-star dilemma where it's like, if I give everything 5 stars, does it still mean something?
Yeah.
Like, so. No, I agree.
also think you could have an argument of like personal peak versus objective peak. Like, this is the peak for me personally, but objectively, it's not like the peak. So I don't know.
Which I would like. Ratatouille is my favorite movie of all time, and they did this big like TV chef just came out and he was like, "Yeah, the most accurate food movie I've ever seen is Ratatouille," which is so funny. But like, I don't know if I would say it's the best movie of all time. I don't think I could tell you the best movie of all time. I probably haven't seen it.
I don't know if there is a best movie of all time. Like, how do you quantify
Citizen Kane actually is the best movie of all.
It's actually Cars 2.
It's Paddington 2.
Everything that we live for as filmmakers.
Oh my gosh.
Here's another one. This one's a little spicy. You can weigh in on this one.
Hey guys, comment down below if you think we need Cars 2 merch. Continue.
The Star Wars prequels are just okay. What do you think? Agree or disagree? Because I have an opinion, but I want to hear yours first.
I'm going to say I really do disagree because I think that the Star Wars prequels, I'm not going to be like, because the original 3 are way better, but I think since we've gotten the sequels, we realize we took the prequels for granted. Because at the end of the day, the prequels are very dialogue heavy and a little slow, but if you want like a political war epic that has like a fully connected story over 3 movies with some just like textbook perfect character arc, then no, you are going to the prequel trilogy. That's what we're going for. While they may be a little dated, I think saying they're just okay is an oversimplification of what the prequels are trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm gonna say disagree.
Yeah.
But what makes this hard is I think if you ask this question in like 2014, the answer would have been agree.
Been like, yeah, no, they're bad.
But I think the quality and even the narrative through line of the sequels really makes you like, yeah, the prequels aren't great. Like, they're not some of the greatest movies ever made, bar Episode 3. I think Episode 3 might be one of the greatest movies ever made. But at the very least, for all of their faults and flaws, they tell a consistent story from Episode 1 to Episode 3 that segues and connects into 4, 5, and 6 and tells that complete story. You can get a complete picture of Star Wars without 7, 8, and 9, which tells you how unnecessary those movies were, because it really just feels like something that was tacked on at the end that didn't need to be there. Whereas if you take out 1, 2, and 3 from the equation, it's like, whoa, we're missing an entire half of the story here.
Right.
So, and even thinking about like David Cornsweet's,
I was literally just about to bring that up.
The way he talks about the Star Wars watch order, which I'm going to try this with my girlfriend because she's never seen 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
I'm going to do 4 and 5, like he said, and then go to 1, 2, 3, and then finish with 6. And I think
that's based.
That, and the fact that like you could even switch up the order like that and you don't have to watch them in release or numerical order, I think is incredible and speaks to the quality of the storytelling. So I think I disagree with the take, but I understand where you're coming from of like, yeah, they're not, cinematic masterpieces across the board, but it does sufficiently like expand the universe and the story and like build on all these characters, and like you can clearly see Anakin's character arc from beginning to end.
Right.
So I think
I would
merit
also I
it's
would
good.
say that it's not even just consistent, it is a really good story. Like it's a
Yeah.
consistently good story. It may not always be super interesting, but it's all very good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem was they
Okay.
also let George Lucas direct all 3 of them, which he did
Yeah.
not. He only directed episode 4.
Right.
5 and 6 were done by
So-
other people. So I think,
Maybe
the
should have just
problem
kept
with
him
the
in the writer's
prequels-
room.
yeah, the problem with the prequels was they really just like gave him a bunch of yes men and did everything he wanted to without any kind of pushback on like, well, hold on, maybe this isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I have 2 more from my Instagram, and then we'll be
Okay.
done with
Hit
mine.
me.
Piracy is illegal. In parentheses, hottest take on the planet. Yeah, we did a whole episode about that. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
agree. Not gonna belabor that point.
Agree.
We've definitely
Boom.
gotten enough
That's
comments
the
about
agree stand, which we'll get to in a moment.
that. And then the last one: good writing is more important than good visuals. I agree.
Agree.
It's kind of
I would say agree.
it's the same concept as like a video game can have a really bad story, but if it's fun to play, then you kind of overlook it. But if it's got
Right.
bad gameplay and a good story, it's much harder to get over that.
Right. I would even say that this is kind of going back to the Wes Anderson dilemma, where it's like Wes Anderson's movies are like quite visually perfect. Like, how do you get more, like, they're so stylized, of course, but I think as a storyteller, he's maybe once or twice. There are very few Wes Anderson films that I'm like 5 stars. Like,
Right.
there's some times where I'm like, your stories are a little tough. Like, they're a little hard. And I also think that this is where a lot of the like Oscar bait movies get stuck, where it's like, but it was shot on the Arri Alexa 12K freaking anamorphic, like, and I'm like, yeah, but the writing is atrocious.
Yeah, the writing is abysmal.
And it's like, I have always said, and this is like really one of the core pillars of what I believe as a creator, is you could make a way better movie with a good script shot on your iPhone than an okay script with a full film crew.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the indie film revolution is coming from, is we're sick of these really bloated scripts that make no sense, have plot holes, that characters that don't relate because they're written by Hollywood bigwigs who don't actually understand what a general audience is looking for. Where this indie cinema revolution that's coming out of the YouTube generation is like understanding the everyday struggle of these people, and it's shot in a way that's so much more digestible, where we're like, we're okay with it not being a cinematic masterpiece. Like, I have watched better content on YouTube than in the theater this year.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's insane, because these people with no budget and just shooting on their phones or on their DSLR cameras are telling better stories than these Hollywood writers, and that's where we're seeing like a move from that. So I would say 1000% agree.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
All right, hit me with some more.
ready? I'm going to diverge a little bit, give you a little extra bit. This is from YouTube, and this was a comment on a short that I posted on the Glass Studios YouTube channel, link in the description.
Oh, boy.
When I was ranking my top 10 Pixar movies. This is from at Johnny Bravo 589. You comment on a public account. You publicly comment. You know
You're
it's public. All right, you're cooked. Ready? I don't get the Toy Story 4 hate. I think it's great and caps Woody's storyline back to the original girl. Not to mention adds good new character and totally changes how Bo Peep for the better. Also, the fact that there's no real villain is similar to the original, and Woody saying goodbye to Buzz made me feel things a man in his 30s doesn't usually feel. Also, frick Toy Story 2, that movie sucks, and Jesse sucks, delete that movie.
Disagree.
Listen, I was like, okay, like, disagree, but like not a good take. And then you throw in F Toy Story 2, that movie sucks and Jesse sucks, delete that movie, sir. Back of the line.
Outta
Like,
here.
you get
Gone.
out. Like,
Ejected.
hold on. Can you put like a big like vine boom here? Disagree. There you go. Just like add like a vine boom in post to that if you would.
It's okay.
I just felt like that was too good to not.
That's
that
such
is
a
a hard
bad take.
disagree. That is just a terrible take because Toy Story 4 completely undid what Toy Story was doing,
and they're undoing
and
it again.
ended so well on Toy Story 3.
And they're undoing it again with Toy Story 5.
Oh my gosh, I can't do this.
Getting the whole gang back together, which like destroys Toy Story 4. Even if you thought it was a good ending, well, now they're gonna destroy it again.
Well, now they're about to destroy it again.
Am I really gonna dig up this grave for more money? Yes,
of course I am. Yeah, no. Toy Story 3 is heart-wrenching and is an incredible, like, it's an incredible story. Like, it caps the characters so well. And then the fourth one is just there and undoes all of the character development we've seen in the last 3 movies so that we can put them in another situation where they have to do that. Like, that's bad writing. That is bad writing. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Disagree. Okay. This one just says, they should have let Snyder cook.
No.
Hard disagree.
No. Disagree. Get these Snyder
Hard
fans
disagree.
off my podcast. Get
Disagree.
out of here, bro. No. If you like Zack Snyder, the door's right.
The door's right there.
here.
There's the door.
Get out.
Yeah,
Get out. No.
I'm tired of pretending that Zack Snyder's a good filmmaker.
The Justice League was terrible.
That's a bad movie.
It was an
If
awful movie.
You guys want to talk about efficient editing? Go watch the freaking 4 hours of Justice League that Zack Snyder thought was necessary. And then it's just Wonder Woman coming on screen every 5 minutes going, like it's a Dune movie. Like, isn't that, is that bad to anyone else? Also, I can't see the movie. It's shot at like f/22 in a dark room. My gosh, I cannot stand you people.
No.
Oh my gosh, I watched the Snyder Cut. I watched the whole thing and I thought, I'm not getting those 4 hours back. And now James Gunn is over the DCU and everyone's like, maybe Zack Snyder's not that good. And I'm like, thank you.
Where
Can
you
we
in?
stop? And then he did the Rebel Moon movie and it flopped. And he was like, well, if they just let me do my director's cut. And I'm like, shut up.
We're not
You
doing this
cannot
again.
pull that card every single time you make a bad movie. That's not how this works.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Disagree.
Disagree.
I need like a gavel for this episode. Okay, here's a good one. The How to Train Your Dragon live action was like the original, but half as good.
What?
I can't really... The How to Train Your Dragon live action was like the original, but half as good.
Well, yeah.
I would say
Agree.
probably agree.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it
I'd say
either, but
probably agree.
I can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a live action remake. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Amy loved it, so like I need to go see it,
Well,
but
you better hurry.
I don't know. It's about to leave the theaters. Here's another take that came up. This is a take that came up 3 separate times. 3 completely different independent people that have never met each other gave the same take. One person said, Interstellar is trash. Another person, unrelated, let me find the exact quote, said Interstellar is a solid 2 out of 10. Which is a wild thing to say. 2 out of 10. And then another one, this one's a little longer, so strap in. I did not care for Interstellar. Everyone treats this movie like it's cinematic perfection, but I just don't like it. It's depressing. It's 2 hours, 49 minutes, but it feels like it's 5 hours long. Bear in mind, I don't hate long movies. My favorite movie is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. That's a base pick. I just hate it when movies drag and feel way longer than they actually are. And everyone obsesses over this movie's score, but to me it sounds like Hans Zimmer fell asleep on his pipe organ and occasionally tosses and turns.
Dang.
That's insane. Is it deep? Scientifically sophisticated? Yeah, I guess, but that doesn't necessarily translate to good. When I tell people I don't like it, they just say, oh, you just don't understand it. I understood it, still didn't like it. You want to talk about a movie that insists upon itself? This movie insists upon itself. Holy cow. I'm going to say...
I have never seen Interstellar.
You've never seen Interstellar?
No.
I'm going to say disagree. I just can't. This was such a popular opinion. I did not expect at all. 3 different people said they hated Interstellar. And here's my gripe on Interstellar. I think it is so it's so scientifically accurate, and the visuals are crazy, and the act is great, and all this stuff. And then you're 2 hours into this 3-hour movie, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so mind blowing, outer space. And then the last hour, you're just like, what?
You're like, huh?
That's what we're doing here? For real? That was how you decided to end this 3-hour epic? Because it's scientifically accurate, amazing, all this, and then it's yeah, we kind of made this up over here. And it just completely swings in the other direction. And it's visually stunning. But I will say, I love Interstellar. I think it's a great, it's one of those movies that, if you are a filmmaker or a creator or anything, you watch a movie like that and you're like, how did you pull this off? How did you film this? What was the planning process for this movie? I'm just in awe of that side of it. But as a story, I think the ending is quite anticlimactic. Now, I won't spoil it. There's a big reveal at the end that makes you go, what the frick? Holy crap. And I think that part is insane. But the very end, I don't think ends on a great note. And I could see how you would feel like you wasted a long time in that movie. But man, everyone hating on Interstellar was not on my bingo card for
Is
this
Interstellar
episode.
the movie where the guy's banging against the window and it's the meme where he's like, no!
He's Murph! No! Murph! Don't let me go, Murph! Yeah, no. In summary, I get it, but disagree.
Disagree, okay.
Here's one that I think you're gonna like. La La Land. Sebastian and Mia were never meant to be.
I feel like I'm
Thoughts?
getting baited here.
No, that's the whole thing.
No, I know. I still feel
Sebastian
like I'm
and
getting
Mia
baited
were
here.
never meant to be. Why? What's your take?
Because if I say agree, then it's gonna validate or invalidate my opinion that I think the ending was bad.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say I agree, and the movie kind of spins. Okay, so here's what I'll say. I agree.
You're responding to a hot take with a hot take.
Because the movie spends its pretty much entire runtime trying to convince you of this fact, that they are just not meant to be together. So if that's the case, then why give us a 5-minute flash forward of what it would have looked like if they just made it work?
Because it's a tragedy.
No, that's so
the point.
stupid. You're
That's the
wasting my
point of
time.
the movie.
Talk about wasting my time. That'd be like me telling you that it's worth it for you to get a Switch 2 and then spend 10 minutes doing a flashback of what your life would have been like if you never got a Switch 2 and showed that it would have been slightly better, if not more fulfilling, than you getting a Switch 2.
No, that's the point of the... It's two characters. No, it's two characters that are so painfully selfish and invested in themselves that they never could have made it work. But later, when they have the clarity in hindsight to be like, oh my gosh, maybe I was selfish and I could have made it work, but it's too late. It's real.
You didn't have to show
reality.
me that.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't have to show. I still believe the ending sucks, but I can also agree that they were not supposed to be together.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
This is gonna be the best take of the day. Ready? Strap in. Cars 2 is the best of the trilogy and one of the best Pixar movies in the last 15 years.
It's peak. What can I say? Agree.
Peak. It's peak.
Agree.
Remember when we said stop using peak? We're gonna use it when
I'm
it's
gonna use it
necessary.
right now.
Cars 2 is peak. Cars 2 is peak.
Did me saying that about Cars 2 start out as a meme? Yeah.
Yes.
But I believe it now. Whether or not that's I've gaslit myself into believing it or I truly believe it, we'll never know. I'm taking that secret to my grave. But it is kind of true. Like Cars 2 goes unironically hard. And I'm glad to see the internet start to change up on it. I'm here for it.
If you've been on the podcast for a long time, like you listening, you may remember Cars 2 was like one of our pillars.
Yep.
It was like we love Cars 2 was like one of the main foundations of this show. So to see the Cars 2 love warms our hearts. We're here for it. Another take, ready? Cars 2 would be the best animated movie ever made if it wasn't a sequel.
Yeah, that is kind of like the pitfall. If they didn't put the 2 on it and made it like Cars World Tour or something, I don't know. Like,
do you think Cars 2 would be widely more accepted if it wasn't Cars 2?
Yes. Because when you see
the
Cars
sequel
2,
makes it,
you think follow up to the original movie. Cars 2 is more of like a side story. Hence why Mater was the main character. Because we need like I think Cars and Cars 3, like if you made those a duology, you might like I still don't really care for Cars 3, but like you could put those two together and then let Cars 2 be its own little spin-off thing.
Right.
I think it would be much more widely appreciated because when they put the 2 on it, they then you came in with the expectation of like how Toy Story 2 continues the story from Toy Story 1 and then bleeds into 3. Cars 3 seems to have nothing to do with Cars 2 and pretend that movie doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
So,
which is why we love it. We love Cars 2 because we make that distinction. But like normally you wouldn't. And that's where the hiccup is. Okay. Do you want to pull some from Twitter? Take a little.
Yeah, let me run through some anime ones real quick. I'll just speed through those. I can't say that one because there's a not good word.
There's one on Twitter that I'm very interested in your take on.
Is it by Jordan K?
Yes. We're looking at the same one.
I'm gonna read.
Yeah, read it.
Jordan K says, Asian culture is overplaying its hand in American entertainment. There will be a swing to aggressive Stallone Schwarzenegger muscle Americanism within a generation. I
don't know. That's such a fascinating observation.
I disagree in a half sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say overplaying. I think they're just playing into the capitalism of this product is selling really well and there's money to be made here. And like think about how big of a cultural export this is. Like even think about like Nintendo and how their biggest audience is the United States.
Right.
Outside like even like more so than Japan. And that's where they're based. So I think it's more we as the West dropped the ball and then Asia came in and filled the void. And now it's honestly much harder for any American thing to get off the ground because why would I want to trust American media that has failed me for the last 10 years when I can look at My Hero, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, like there's all of these other like Zelda, Xenoblade, Mario Kart, like why like And even on the Nintendo
Right.
front, like, I didn't know Nintendo was Japanese till I was like 12.
Right.
Like, because Nintendo doesn't necessarily present itself as Japanese as anime does.
Also, when you're a kid, you don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
You just
You
want to
just
play a
want good
fun
stuff.
game. Like, yeah, I think this is so interesting because we do see that Eastern culture playing into a lot of our culture now. Like, we want to do the K-pop thing. We want to do the Japanese street fashion thing. We want to do the, all this stuff. And I think what a really, really big, and this is leading into a much larger topic that I'm not smart enough to address. I don't have the information, but I think that we have the American culture almost sees the Japanese culture as so innovative and so much of a return to form to what we want, to the American dream.
Yep.
And like the nuclear family model. And I think that in a weird way, we've put that on a pedestal in a way that we're like, oh, this country's doing it better, so we should just do that.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
Instead
because
of doing our own thing, we're just trying to copy Japan because they're doing what works. I mean, look, you get
Right.
they're doing a cyberpunk anime, they're doing a
Right.
Suicide Squad anime. Every time I walk into Books A Million, there's a new like Western IP slapped on a manga. I've talked about this in a video before. The Western mind is so entrapped in capitalism and copying instead of just like innovating that every movie has an anime inspired art style. Every TV show has an anime inspired art style and fight scenes. Like, you just like look at the best example I have of this off the top of my head is like the TMNT CGI animated cartoon that was much more Western. Look at like Mutant Mayhem or the TV show on Netflix, The Rise of the TMNT, right? Both shows that are a lot more expressive in their animation, a lot more fluid and dynamic fights. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying what happened between those two shows, anime got really popular really quick.
You also have to understand kind of what you were putting on, kind of what you were leaning on earlier, was it was like when Western culture and when Western media failed, Eastern media did not.
Right.
And so like we are still in this dark valley of like, we haven't gotten a good Pixar movie in years. Like, I wouldn't have to go watch an anime movie for good animated content if Pixar got their act together.
Yeah.
100%. But it's kind of like, I don't think that's necessarily that Asian culture is overplaying its hand in American entertainment. I would argue that American entertainment is letting Asian culture put their hand in.
Which is why you see so many companies like Netflix trying to get into the anime sphere. You see Disney trying to pull anime and like do Star Wars anime and stuff instead of just making something new. Because instead of trying to innovate and do something new, they're just trying to jump in on the cash cow. And I think that's going to make it oversaturated and it's going to ruin it. Which is what I've talked about in videos before.
Think about like Invincible, where it's like that's like Amazon made that show, but is it an anime where it's like, well, no, it's made by an American studio.
No. And the problem is, here's another thing, is like, this is what I'll say, and then I'll move on to the next one. Anime looks different, right? My Hero looks different from Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer looks different from Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan looks different from Love is War, like so on and so forth. Invincible looks like Voltron. Voltron looks like My Adventures of Superman. My Adventures of Superman looks like Avatar. Avatar looks like The Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince looks like, well, that one's a little unique, so I'll give it a pass. But like, and now we're shifting into like, Arcane did something new and interesting, and now everything looks like Arcane. Spider-Verse
like
did something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything looks like Spider-Verse, which was my one like praise with K-pop Demon Hunters is you can tell because it's a Sony movie where they took their inspiration from Spider-Verse and where they can pull from anime, but they still did their own thing with it, and it wasn't this is the Spider-Verse animation style because that's what's popular. And you see it a lot with Pixar. Like, you see it with like all the Disney movies, they all have the same like stupid bean mouth Grubhub looking ad style.
Oh my gosh. Freaking okay, it's like back in the day you could get Cars, Ratatouille, The Incredibles, Wall-E. Like, none of these movies look the same.
Nope.
At all. And now it's like Luca turning red looks like Luca. Luca looks like Soul. Soul kind of looks like Elio. Elio looks like Hoppers. Like,
Yeah.
what happened? Like, we're all doing the same thing.
We're losing the individuality.
We're losing. And so, anyway, that was such, I would say, agree asterisks on the original take.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good one, though.
But my question is, like, will we gain the self-awareness to switch to the Stallone Schwarzenegger muscle Americanism? Probably not. I don't think we will, because the history shows we're not gonna, because can't see past our nose as America. So anyway, that was such a crazy, like,
That was such a good one.
that was such a smart take. Like, that was so thoughtful. So wonderful work, Jordan K. This is why you're Twitter verified. That's
Here's
what I'm saying.
Here's the next one for you. From Brosif Lacask. More
Okay.
people should include, quote, has acceptable pacing at least in their definition of peak fiction. If it gets good 40 hours in / 4 seasons in, or has yet to get to the point 8+ seasons in, it may have hype moments and aura, but it doesn't qualify as the pinnacle of storytelling. Which is kind of what we were talking about earlier.
That's
with, like,
so true.
you got to tell a good, concise story. And can we
Right.
stop calling everything peak? Like, is One Piece
Right.
really good? Yeah. But you kind of got to get, like, I'm on episode almost 300. And I'm finally
Right.
getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is, like, really good storytelling.
Okay,
That's a really long way to go before it gets
Here's
good.
my thing. Here's my thing. I was having this conversation at work where someone was like, he's like, I tried to get into Dragon Ball. And he was like, they're like, oh, watch Dragon Ball. It's so good. And he was like, yeah, it'll get good in 30 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, that's not worth my time. And this is my problem with the Clone Wars. Someone's like, you have to watch the Clone Wars. It's so good. And I was like, well, I tried the first season. I didn't really love it. Well, the first season's not great. Second season's okay. Third season's really good. Fourth season has its ups and downs. But then the fifth season, and I'm like, stop. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing that. I would say hard agree. Mad agree.
I would also agree with that.
I think that is a based take.
From Riley, I'll hit you with another one. Agree or disagree? The
Hit
Last
me.
Jedi is very good. I agree.
Wrong.
Agree. That's based.
That movie looks bad.
What
That is a
are you
poorly-
talking about?
That is a poorly directed movie.
What? That's a what? Listen, I'll concede maybe on the story, but the visuals? No. What?
Is that the Ryan Johnson one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson knows how to put tripods in his movies, and that is pretty much all he's good for. That is all he's good for.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Tell me I'm wrong. Watch a Ryan Johnson movie and tell me that not every shot is a tripod shot, which can work, by the way, but it's like the kind of tripod shot that you like expect from like a YouTube video, you know? Like, that's kind of my take. That's my hot take.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Disagree.
All right, Grandpa.
Let's get you to bed.
I'll hit you with a few more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, there's a lot on Twitter, and not all of them are good, and I know we don't want this episode to be like 2 hours long.
Okay, there was one I saw earlier that I thought was really... Oh, here it is. At the True David said, the 2020s has no culture.
Ooh.
We are too focused on the 80s to 2000s reboot, remake, and revitalizing every IP possible without creating anything new and impactful. We don't have new franchises to build theme parks, sell merch, or create tie-in games from that wasn't established pre-2020.
Agree.
Mad agree.
Mad agree. I would say
base.
even the latter half of the 2010s had that exact same problem.
Right.
And I think it's been highlighted a lot more now, especially because Disney kind of led the charge on we can make
Right.
live action remakes and turn all of our original rides at our parks into shallow IP dressed things to get more people in the door.
Yep.
And I think it also goes back to like the anime stuff of they're doing original stuff and they're creating something new, even if it's bad. Like, I think the worst manga known to man is probably still like at least 2 times as creative as whatever Disney is doing on the average day. Like, who would think of I get reincarnated as a vending machine and have to save the world?
And
like,
it's like, what on earth? I gotta watch that. Like, give it to me.
Someone
like,
said
that's so dumb.
Doing a demon boy band from K-pop was so much more creative than anything Disney's done in the last 5 years.
Right.
And I'm like,
because it is.
It's interesting.
And it's like, but it's also so like that idea is so culturally proficient and like so smart to be like, yeah, like these industry plant people, they're just coming for your money. But, like, if you ramp that up to be, like, they're coming for your soul, then it's like, whoa, like, this is crazy, like, relatable and creative and just way better than it's Snow White, but she don't need no man.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, literally who on the planet asked for that? Like,
let me burn through a couple anime ones here.
Yeah.
AOT, this is from Final Dan. AOT went downhill the moment Isayama introduced other countries outside of Eldia. Marleyan's oppressing Eldians makes sense, but outside of Mikasa's mom, I couldn't care about the rest of the people outside the walls. Well, I disagree, but I kind of agree. Because I don't think it went downhill when that was introduced, but I do think it's very easy to not care about anyone outside the walls because you spend 3 seasons, like, the main cast is inside the walls, so that's naturally who you're going to care about.
Right.
So, like...
So would you say, like, fair, but that's the point?
Yeah. Fair, but
like,
that's the point.
And I haven't watched Attack on Titan, so I can't say. Is that like saying, I care less about the side characters? Then it's like, well, yeah, they're side characters.
Whoa. That is a really hot take, and I want to get to that one after this next anime one. From Kahiro Atos. I don't know if I said that right. My Hero and Demon Slayer are incredibly mid. Not for any animation carries reason, but because a lot of time was spent building up the worlds, but zero effort went into making the characters or story unique. They're all shallow archetypes. They're not bad, but they're not good either. Hard disagree. Demon Slayer did not become the 3rd or 4th highest selling manga of all time for you to say that it's a shallow archetype. Like, maybe it is a shallow archetype, but it does it really well.
Yeah.
And My Hero, I could go on a whole tangent about My Hero. I disagree. We don't have time for that. Here's one.
Are you doing the Hulk fan?
No.
Okay, that's the one I'll do next.
I got one for you. This one's gaming related. David Wayne Nystrom. Age of Calamity is a better Zelda game than either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh my. Some of y'all don't deserve a Switch. Did you feel the silence?
Yeah.
That was the stupidity of that claim, like just sitting in the air for a moment so that I could process my thought on the nicest way to tell you that's wrong.
That's just... No, disagree.
That's just wrong. You know what Breath of the Wild had, not even Tears of the Kingdom. You know what Breath of the Wild has on the original Switch? Not a frame drop every 15 seconds whenever I swing a sword.
Well, I don't know.
You know what's great on a fighting game? When you go down to 3 frames per second every time you swing a sword. That is exactly what I'm looking for in a fighting game. Lord have mercy. That is... I'm sorry. That is bad.
All right, hit me
That
with
is
one.
bad. Oh my gosh. This one's going to piss me off too. How to Train Your Dragon 3 is an awful movie and terrible conclusion to the trilogy. You could write a wall of text trying to defend it, but it won't change the fact that it utterly betrays the themes of the past 2 movies.
I'm going to disagree just because I liked How to Train Your Dragon 3. I thought it was good.
I really disagree. I really disagree on that. I think, like, on what planet does the 3rd movie, like, take away the themes? That one more just confuses me. Because, like, did we see the same movie? The third How to Train Your Dragon movie like takes all the themes and ties a bow on it, and is a character arc for Hiccup to become the man he wanted to be in the first movie, but in a better form than he ever could have imagined. On what planet does that abandon the themes of the first two movies? That is disagree. Disagree.
All right, I got one more from Twitter, and then I'm gonna start combing through the YouTube.
Okay, ready?
From a very cool user.
I was hoping you'd say this one.
While Nintendo makes great games, they get too much of a pass for not adding in modernized features like volume mixer sliders, custom controls, and more. That should be the standard at this point in every game. I know Jackson really wants to go off on this one.
Oh my gosh.
So
Please go first.
I'm just going to jump in and say disagree. Why do we need all of that? Like,
yeah.
I volume mixer sliders for what? Like, if it's too loud, turn it down. Like, turn your TV down. Turn your Switch down. What do you, like, not know how to use the volume button? As for custom controls, what, you want to flip your Pro Controller upside down and play like an idiot? No, just play the game how it was meant to play the game. No, it should not be the standard. No, because I don't want to cater to these PC freaks who are like, yeah, I like holding my keyboard like this and blah, 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 blah. No, you look like an idiot. Play the game the way it was meant to be played.
What do you mean I can't play Animal Crossing New Horizons with my gamer sleeves where I type like that?
What do you mean I can't use my steering wheel for the Animal Crossing? I can't use the gas pedal to build?
Also, the Switch 2 has mouse and keyboard controls.
Yeah.
What are you complaining about? Like,
I don't know, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me repeat this. While Nintendo makes great games, they get too much of a pass for not adding in modernized features like volume mixer slider, custom controls, and more. That should be standard at this point in every game. I need everyone to understand that when you say things like this about Nintendo, you're kind of missing what they're doing, because Nintendo has never done the standard thing. They have never done the regular thing, which just goes back to, like, why do Americans love Eastern culture so much? Maybe because Nintendo is the only one that has actually evolved in the gaming space the last 10 years and not just gave a PS5 that's like the size of a small apartment and just has like 2 exclusive games, and then they're doing a PS6 to do the same thing. Like, Nintendo has never been the standard game.
Nope.
They've always done whatever they wanted, and they're making those games for the people that want that. They're making the games for people that they know are bought into that idea of what they're doing. So when PC players come in, they're like, well, why can't I change the controls? Well, they know their target demographic is not those people, because the people that want to do custom controls and stuff aren't doing hardcore gaming. And Nintendo is not like hardcore gaming the same way that even a PS5 would be. Now, when they're getting more into this space with the Switch 2, they need to add stuff like mouse and keyboard controls. But before that, what would you need all of these advanced features for when their games are quite simple? They focus on the actual meat of the game and the content of the game instead of all the super fancy controls that don't actually mean a whole lot. So, kind of disagree. I feel like this take was really, honestly, kind of innocent and be like, well, they make great games, but we need more. And I'm just like, I kind of disagree. Like, I just don't think it's necessary. Okay, you ready? I have some more Instagram ones if you want to hear them.
Yep.
Okay. It says Jaws is freaking boring. Have you seen Jaws?
Never seen it, which is why I think it's boring. Because it's never intrigued me enough to want to watch it.
Well, if you watch it in reverse, it's about a shark that spit up so many people they had to open a beach. So,
that's a good point.
You know, maybe it'd be more interesting if you watched it in reverse. Next take. Theaters will go extinct in the next 20 years if streaming continues to grow.
Disagree. I think 20 years is being generous. I say 5 to 10.
You think they're out in the next decade?
Yeah, I think 5 is too generous, because look at a movie like K-pop Demon Hunters. Not to keep beating the very much
Harping.
alive horse. It's now okay. I misspoke earlier. It's not Netflix's highest watched movie of all time. It is, however, the first Netflix film to reach a new viewing peak in its 5th week of release.
Jeez.
And it has over 106 million views.
Yeah.
So
if they're putting
it could not have done those numbers in the theater where there was a paywall in front of it that was $15 a person. Like
I would say I hope not. I hope theaters aren't going extinct. I would argue that I think theaters will either have to evolve or go extinct. Because if the movie theater does not learn how to drop its prices to make it less risky, which is not the movie theater's fault that going to the movies is risky, that's a studio fault. This is a Death of Hollywood fault, where it's 15 years ago, well, that may be generous, 20 years ago, could go to the movie theater, and most likely what I see is going to be great. Not everything, but there's a much higher chance, where now it's well, I don't really want to see the live action Snow White, and live action How to Train Your Dragon might be good, I don't know, and Elio is bad, so I'm not going to go see it. And so if they don't figure out some kind of business model to get old movies in the theater, or drop their prices in some way, or evolve in a way to be we're going to be a community place, we're going to show local filmmakers, we're going to do film festival, we're going to do this, unless they learn to evolve from the standard movie theater model where they depend on those big titles from Hollywood because they're not producing them at the rate that they used to, they will go extinct. And I think a lot of the theaters will, but I don't think we'll see the end of theater because it is such a time-honored tradition. I just think it's going to change in the next 10 years. And so I would agree. I would say they're not going extinct, but if they do, something else that's better is going to be birthed from it. And I will be curious to see what that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's fair.
Ready? This is interesting. I'm curious of what you think of this. Every single movie ever should have at least one curse word.
No.
It says Christian kids cartoon, do it.
No, disagree. I think swearing's overrated.
I think maybe one. And it depends on the word. If it is so carefully placed, I think you could say every movie should only have be allowed one swear word, because when you get into these Quentin Tarantino type movies where every other word is an F-bomb, and you're just where is the quality of your writing if you can't write dialogue without an F-bomb in between every single word? But I think saying it needs to be in everything is just, I don't agree with that. I just don't think it's necessary, and I think it shows. My dad always said, this is honestly kind of base, he was like, you can tell someone's intelligence based on how often they swear. And he said, if they can't find a smarter word than that, then I don't find them very smart. And I was like, based, actually. That's the hot take for the day. Okay, ready? Next one. Paddington 2 is better than Avatar. I stand by it. Those are two very different movies.
Avatar, I'm assuming they mean James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah, I would assume
I'll
that
say
as
agree
well.
just because I hate James
I'll
Cameron.
say agree. Yeah, based. Agree. Final one from Instagram. Let me know what you think. Rogue One is by far the best Star Wars movie.
Disagree. Disagree for the same reason I disagree with people saying Andor is the best piece of Star Wars media created. Because Star Wars was created to be a story about space wizards and Jedi.
Yeah.
and the Force and all this stuff. So for you to say that the best stuff in the franchise is something that's completely removed from the original creation is such a brain dead take. Which is why I have such a problem with so many Andor fans and why I refuse to watch that show for so many other reasons, but that's the main one. For you to say, out of all 9, if you wanted to say out of the Disney Star Wars films, 100%, I'll agree with you there. I'll concede that point. But for you to say that Rogue One
of all time
is better than Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, whoa.
Now...
Whoa.
I would say that Rogue One is definitely top 5, could be top 3, because it's just great. I would say top 3 would be I'd be Empire, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One. Sure. That is a very valid top 3, but I don't think we will ever get better than Empire for Star Wars.
I think that's fair. I hate that take so much.
I don't appreciate that.
Star Wars without Jedi is just another generic sci-fi action series.
Ooh.
That's a hot take. That's my hot take.
That is an interesting take.
That's why Dune is so boring, because it doesn't have anything that makes it interesting outside of being a sci-fi series. Yeah, they got spice. Yeah, they got worms. Yeah, they got some weird political discourse, whatever. Star Wars has laser swords and guys who can move stuff with their mind, all right? Get out of here.
Jeez. Get on my level.
Get on my level. Aspire to be a better nerd.
Okay, so
I've got a couple from YouTube.
Wrap us up with some YouTube ones.
I picked 1, 2, 3, 4 of my favorites from YouTube.
All right, let me hear it.
From Joseph Fiandra. All the Bayformers films are more entertaining than Transformers Rise of the Beast, which is just a Bayformers film, but way blander. That being said, I still like Bumblebee and Transformers 1 because it felt like they had a strong sense of direction. I agree across the board.
I have not seen any of the movies you talked about except Transformers 1.
What? You haven't seen any of the Bayformer? You haven't seen
I've
any
seen
of the Michael Bay ones?
I've seen the first one.
Oh my gosh, we got to do a franchise revisit. I gotta show you these movies, dude. They're so bad. See, here's the thing. He's not saying that they're good. He's just saying they're more entertaining.
Fair.
That's a key distinction here.
No, that's fair.
That's real. I liked Rise of the Beast. I thought it was good for a Transformers movie, but then again, the bar is on the floor. So that's also why Transformers 1 was so good, because it was like a 10 out of 10.
Right.
And
you're like,
all the other movies are like 2.
And then there's there's no Transformers 2. R.I.P.
So here's one. This is kind of a double whammy. I'll give you a 2 for here. The Matrix is a boring movie. I am not watching the sequel. Agree or disagree?
I would say don't watch the sequel, but The Matrix is pretty interesting. I would disagree. Okay. I think The Matrix set the groundwork for what we know as sci-fi, as we know as modern action sci-fi. And so I'm going to say disagree, but you should not watch the sequel because that is the first time I've ever fallen asleep in a movie theater. So do not watch that.
That's fair. I'll say
Keanu is not opposed to doing something for a check. That is something you got to learn about him.
Yeah, I'll say disagree just because I like the first Matrix. All right.
Yeah, I do too.
Here we go.
This is a whole
kind of a long
thing. I don't even know what to think about this.
From RainX 7078.
Oh my
Thomas
gosh.
the Tank Engine was only not canceled because the horror elements were very cleverly hidden. Telling trains to do their best or you will be sent to the scrapyard should be considered threat of murder. They are alive and I'm not sure where their organs are. Apparently they're ticklish. Imagine just being inside a train that talks to you. No. And there was one train that got buried alive and the trains don't die unless scrapped or broken. So he's still down in the cave, alive. How are these trains not insane? I cried more at this show than watching Chucky. I was 4 to 6.
Lord have mercy.
Agree. I didn't even think about that. Like, kind of the same thing as like Cars. Like,
right, where you're like, when you really think about the implications, you're like, that's not right. You know what? Based. Agree.
Bang. Hammer on the gavel. Let's see. Which one do I want to do last?
Okay. This one is.
This one's a lot of anime, so I'll speed run this one. Fantastic Fanatic. Robin is a better female Straw Hat than Nami. Agree. Hard agree. There you go, One Piece fans. Get your crumb. Sanji and Tony Chopper are the best Straw Hats. Disagree. Deku working at McDonald's memes are funny. Disagree. Zoro isn't as interesting as character as Sanji. Disagree. Jujutsu Kaisen's ending was better than My Hero. Disagree.
Can you put a Vine boom after every disagree? Disagree.
Jar Jar Binks is not that
McDonald's
bad. He's hilarious and entertaining, delightful to watch. Agree.
Agree. Justice for Jar Jar. I fully buy into the Darth Jar Jar theory. I wholeheartedly do.
Hey, it's canon in Fortnite, which means it's canon across the board.
No, it's based. AI Darth Vader told me so.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Do you have any more?
There's one that was really kind of tickled me, and this is from Mediocre Church 1837.
Perfect. That was what I was going to end with.
Okay, cool. 90s Disney movies are bad because they're all the exact same movie wearing a different skin. The only exception I can think of being the Goofy movie. Now, one, Goofy movie on top, right? Goofy movie is in my top 5 movies of all time.
True.
Goated movie, okay? But to say that 90s Disney movies are bad is, I think, wrong. Strongly disagree. And the argument that they're the same movie wearing a different skin is, I think, an unnuanced take because all of these old movies are based on folklore. They're all based on classic fairy tales and the Grimm's fairy tales, which means they have the same story structure, but they're very different in their characters and their story, like their different settings, and this is what's so freaking ironic about Disney now is I feel like their old movies, like 90s 2000s, were so much more diverse than what they're doing now, and they're like trying so hard to be the inclusive company when in the 90s they were just kind of throwing stuff out there, and they did some pretty whack stuff that you should put content disclaimers on Disney Plus for, but they were showing, I think about Hercules, I think about Pocahontas, I think about all these other movies where these are based on either real people or fairy tales and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, they're all musicals based on fairy tales. They're gonna have the same story structure. I don't think that makes them bad though. I would say disagree, except the Goofy movie on top 24/7.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to agree with you.
Yeah.
I got sidetracked because I saw this post, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie leak update. This is an official statement from the Demon Slayer Twitter account. You'll be subject to up to 10 years of imprisonment, a 10 million yen fine, or both with strict criminal prosecution. They are not playing about this movie leaking out. Thank God. Finally, someone's doing something about leaks. Amen.
Well, does that count as piracy?
Given that you're screen recording a movie, yeah.
Wow.
You're just
crazy.
ripping it from the theater. That's like the original form of piracy.
OG pirates.
OG pirates about to get the hammer.
All right. Unless
Bam.
you have anything else to add, I think that was a pretty across the board good roast of Bat movie takes. Guys, thank you so much for participating in this episode. This episode is not possible without you because we got hot takes for days, but it's so fun to hear your takes and your engagement on this episode. If your take didn't get read, try again next time. I'd love to do this again. We love having episodes where you guys can interact with us. That is such just the benefit of a weekly format is we get to adjust in real time and we get to take polls and questions, and you can just follow us on this journey. It's this whole interactive journey together through the whole podcast. So thank you so much for being a part of that. If you like what you see here, make sure you leave 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or whatever else you're listening to this podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. We're so close to monetization on those watch hours. And once we break that threshold, we can give you so many more amazing perks as you as a listener. So please continue to watch on YouTube. Continue to listen on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram. All our personal links are in the description too. We cannot wait to see you in the next episode, which is also going to be so good. So we will see you then. But until then, bye.